The snow fell softly over the quiet streets of Boston as Emma Clark hurried down the empty sidewalk. Her white nursing uniform was barely visible beneath her thin coat, and her breath formed small clouds in the frozen air. She was already 20 minutes late for her clinical shift at Memorial Hospital. Emma had always been shy. Speaking up in class made her palms sweat. Meeting new people filled her with worry. But nursing was her dream, and she was determined to overcome her fears, one patient at a time. As she turned the corner toward the hospital, she noticed something unusual. A figure sat slumped against the brick wall of an alleyway. Most people would have walked past, perhaps glancing away to avoid getting involved. But Emma's training kicked in before her shyness could stop her. She approached slowly, her heart pounding. The man looked to be in his 60s, with silver hair and an expensive-looking coat now dusted with snow. His hand pressed against his left arm, where dark red blood seeped through his fingers. "Sir." Emma's voice was barely above a whisper. "Are you okay?" The man looked up at her with tired eyes. "I'm fine," he said, though his pale face told a different story. "Just a cut. Please, don't let me keep you from wherever you're going." Emma glanced at her phone. She was now 25 minutes late. Missing a clinical shift was serious. It could affect her grade, maybe even her future in the program. But as she looked at the bleeding wound on the stranger's arm, she knew she couldn't leave. "I'm a nursing student," she said quietly, kneeling beside him despite the cold, wet ground. "Please, let me help you." The man studied her face for a moment, then nodded. Emma opened her backpack and pulled out her small first aid kit. Her hands trembled slightly, not from the cold, but from nervousness. She'd practiced these skills dozens of times in the classroom, but this was real. This mattered. Gently, she cleaned the wound. It was a deep gash, probably from broken glass or metal. As she worked, the man watched her with curiosity. "What's your name?" he asked. "Emma Clark," she replied, carefully applying antibacterial ointment. "You should be somewhere, shouldn't you, Emma? Somewhere important." She paused, then nodded. "My clinical rotation at Memorial Hospital. I'm already very late." "Then why are you here?" Emma looked up at him. In that moment, her shyness faded, replaced by something stronger. "Because you needed help," she said simply. "That's what nurses do." The man smiled, a genuine warmth spreading across his weathered face. After bandaging the wound properly, Emma insisted on calling him a taxi. She waited with him until it arrived, making sure he promised to see his regular doctor soon. Only then did she finally continue toward the hospital, now 45 minutes late. The next morning, Emma was called into the dean's office. Her stomach twisted with anxiety as she walked through the quiet hallways. She'd already received a failing grade for missing her shift. Now she worried she might be removed from the program entirely. Dean Roberts sat behind his desk, but he wasn't alone. Next to him stood a distinguished man with silver hair, wearing an elegant suit. Emma's breath caught. It was the man from the alleyway. "Miss Clark," Dean Roberts began, "this is Jonathan Harper. He's the CEO of Harper Medical Group, which owns Memorial Hospital and funds several nursing scholarships." Emma's mind spun. CEO. The man she'd helped was a CEO. "Mr. Harper stepped forward, a kind smile on his face. "Yesterday, I was inspecting a construction site at one of our new facilities when I had an accident. I sent my driver away, planning to handle it myself. Then you appeared." He paused, his expression growing serious. "In all my years running hospitals, I've interviewed hundreds of nurses and doctors. But I've rarely seen someone demonstrate such pure compassion and skill, especially under pressure, especially when it cost them something significant." Dean Roberts stood. "Mr. Harper has asked that we not only excuse your absence but offer you a full scholarship for your remaining semesters. Additionally, upon graduation, you'll have a guaranteed position in our emergency department." Emma couldn't speak. Tears welled in her eyes. "Mr. Harper placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. You showed me what nursing is truly about, Emma. Not just skill, but heart. Thank you for stopping. Thank you for caring." Later that evening, as Emma walked home through the snow-covered streets, she thought about her journey. She'd spent so long being afraid, hiding behind her shyness, wondering if she was strong enough to be the nurse she dreamed of becoming. But yesterday, when it mattered most, she hadn't hesitated. Her compassion had been stronger than her fear. The snow continued to fall softly, and for the first time in a long while, Emma felt truly confident. Not because everything had worked out perfectly, but because she'd discovered something important about herself. She was already the nurse she'd always wanted to be. She just needed one cold, snowy evening to prove it.